You another video on Solasta Magister. In today's video, we are going to talk about our inner peace and our inner energy, and we are going to talk about the monk class in Solasta Magister. Now, I am a huge fan of monks. I think they're underpowered in tabletop D&D just because they don't get enough key points. But as a person who is a DM, I always like to give away a temporary ring of key storing to kind of help bridge the gap until they get higher. But overall, I absolutely love the monk class. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to kind of build a monk from level 1 to 12. We're going to kind of talk through which races I like, how the different subclasses work and what I think are cool, and rank those. And then we'll get into, what they get as they level up and why I would choose some of the feats and stuff I do. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, a monk is a very interesting class where wisdom, dexterity, and constitution are all very important for a monk. And so picking a ancestry race that has wisdom, constitution, and dexterity is very, very good. Depending on which kind of race you want, like a dwarven monk is fantastic. They get constitution and dexterity, or you can do constitution and wisdom. And on top of that, you get dwarven toughness if you go hill dwarf. And if you go snow dwarf, you get a little bit proficiency with like a heavy crossbow, and +2 your constitution saving throws. To me, I would probably, because I'm not using any of the stuff here, I would pick the Hill Dwarf as a really great option, solely because of the extra hit points that I'm going to need. Other options would probably include the, if you want to go half-orc, great, but I wouldn't recommend it. The other options I would probably choose would be a Sylvan Elf is also a very good option. You get some pretty cool abilities with that. And then I'd even go as far as the halfling, the marsh halfling is also another very good choice. I think if I were to pick one, obviously human's a good choice, but you have to keep in mind that the only ancestries races in the game that do not have dark vision are the Dragonborn, the human, and the island halfling, which can be detrimental unless you have abilities to give you the ability to see. Of these ones, the Sylvan Elf has the most movement, so I think that's why they are probably my best choice in order to play a monk. But it's hard to argue with the Hill Dwarf's addition to their hit points, and with the Marsh Halfling having like Lucky and some of the other things. But I'm going to go with the Sylvan Elf because I just think because of their movement and I'm a monk, I just think they're going to have probably the best starting ancestry. So let's get into the monk and let's just start building this baby out from start to finish. All right, so the first thing we got to do is pick our background. So the Ascetic came out with this DLC to be partnered up with the monk. If you're going for thematic, this is probably the best one to choose because why not? But if you're going to say, okay, what do I need to do as a monk to make me stronger, make me better? To be honest, it's a monk weapon, right? You have to be proficient. So maybe going Lawkeeper and becoming proficient in a martial weapon will allow you to use a more damaging weapon up front, so that you can still have the opportunity to use your bonus action for other things. So this is a good choice because now you could maybe use a long sword in your hand and then also do it instead of having to do a short sword. Other than this, having proficiency, maybe an academic in your Manacalon Rosary is pretty good, but other than that, you're not going to want to wear armor because you're going to do better without armor. You will have a high dexterity, so you could do the low life proficiency in order to get our low life background in order to get proficiency in Thieves' Tools, but that just doesn't seem right. And then the only other one I would say is Aristocrat to get the extra 80 gold. But as a monk, you are you're pretty low maintenance. You really don't wear armor. You don't really use weapons. And so none of this shit really matters. So honestly, go Ascetic and maybe go Lawkeeper for the martial weapon. Other than that, academic if you want to get the proficiency in your Manacalon Rosary. That's pretty much it. Then the Aristocrat if you want some cash. All right, so we're just going to click stuff here. I'm just gonna do whatever, optimize, but just keep in mind their number one stat is going to be their dexterity because that's where their damage comes from and their AC. But wisdom also contributes to their AC. So keep that in mind that it's going to be 10 plus your dex and your wisdom combined is going to be your armor class. So right now I would have a 16 AC. So the more you can pump dex and wisdom, the higher AC you have. And as a monk, that's going to be really important. And then constitution helps with your health. Now, if I would have picked a hill dwarf, I would gain extra hit points. So instead of a +2, I'd get a +3. And so at the end of the day, I'm getting 12 additional hit points onto everything I'm rolling. So you can definitely become more beefy if you're going to be more of a tank monk instead of a damage dealing monk. So then we get into some of our proficiencies. We get to choose 2. You can probably, I would say, acrobatics and maybe stealth. I don't think, but maybe if you picked one of these, I'd probably do stealth. Why not? And then languages, if you haven't seen my other videos, if you're playing through the main campaign, Tehran and Old Temerian are a must. If you're playing through the DLC, you want to pick up Giant and then whatever else you want. So that's what I would do for languages. All right, we're just going to randomly pick some names here, and we're going to move on. All right, so now we're going to do the level up process and kind of see how she levels up. So level 2, this is where we get our key points. So at level 2, you gain a key point per every level. So at level 2, you get 2 key points. You also gain Patient Defense, Step of the Wind, and Flurry of Blows. So basically, as a bonus action, you can spend a key point to either gain Dodge, Disengage, or you can also gain Flurry of Blows, which gives you a second unarmed strike. So with a monk, you don't have to dual wield. You can punch with your bonus action. With Flurry of Blows, you can punch twice with your bonus action. And now you get unarmored movement, so now your speed is increased by 2. So instead of being able to move 7, which is 35 feet, now you can move 9, which is 45 feet. So as long as you're not wearing any armor, you are going to be running all over the place. All right, so here we go. Now, the monk, people don't like the monk because of how slow their key points work. So you only get to use 2. So you get 2 Flurry of Blows, and then you're taking a short rest. But that definitely improves as you level up. So now at level 3, we're going to have 3 key points. We gain the ability to deflect missiles. So not only can we prevent damage, we reduce the damage by 1d10 plus my dex modifier plus my monk level. So 1d10 plus 5 most likely and plus 3, so plus 8. So up to 18 damage, and there's nobody shooting you with a crossbow or an arrow that's going to do that much damage. So you pretty much zero out damage coming from one ranged attack. And then on top of that, you can burn a key point and throw it back at them. But I wouldn't recommend it because right now you have 3 key points, and you're not going to waste one throwing an arrow at somebody. All right, so now we get to pick our subclass. So let's look at these. Way of the Open Hand is from the SRD. I love this subclass because you can do these abilities with your Flurry of Blows. In 5th edition, you actually have to burn a key point to do the different abilities. In Solasta, you don't. So these are toggles. So basically, if you do the open hand technique, you will punch somebody with your Flurry of Blows, and if you do hit them and they fail their save, they will be knocked prone if you choose prone on all of your Flurry of Blows hits. If you want to knock them back, you toggle that on, and then every Flurry of Blow would have the ability to push them back, and so on. So they really did a good job with this. So this is really important. In my opinion, this really is much better than 5th edition currently. So that's what we're going to get at level 3 as the Way of the Open Hand. Now, as we level up, we get Wholeness of Body. So at 6th level, we gain a heal. And this is an action, but you gain hit points equal to 3 times your monk level. So you're going to gain 9 hit points now, but when you get to level 12, you can gain 36 hit points as a action as a heal. So it's like a free potion of healing, or once you get higher, like a greater, superior potion of healing. And you can do this once every long rest. And then at level 11, you are able to hit an attack or single target. You can spend a key point to get the spell shield. So this is great. If you're about to be hit by an attack, you can actually burn one of your key points and shield yourself to prevent taking damage at level 11. So all really nice abilities for this subclass. Now we get to the Way of the Survival. Starting at 3rd level, you gain +2 bonus AC when you are not wearing armor and are not incapacitated. So this is now going to give you the ability, if you had 20 dex and 20 wisdom, you would have 22 AC just out of the gate starting at level 3. And then when you use Patient Defense, you gain advantage on your attack rolls until the start of your next turn. So that's pretty cool, just saying. So let's see what else Way of Survival does. At 6th level, when you take damage from a source, you heal a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus at the start of your next turn. Whenever you use Patient Defense, you also gain resistance to all damage types until the start of your next turn. So that's pretty cool. You use Unbreakable Body, and you do Patient Defense, and basically you can't take any damage, and next turn you're going to heal for your proficiency bonus. Kind of cool, but not great. Starting at level 11, you now add your Con modifier to your damage rolls of your unarmed strikes and monk weapons. So buffing your Con is going to make you stronger on this in this build, so not bad. Way of the Light, starting at 3rd level, you learn Light and Shine cantrips. Whenever you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by your Flurry of Blows, they automatically start emitting a bright light until the end of your next turn. So you cast Shine on things or Light, but if you hit something, they now are emitting bright light. Then at level 6, anytime you strike a target affected by Shine or your Luminous Key, you deal an additional 1d4 radiant damage. So you don't actually have to hit them with Flurry of Blows. You can actually cast your Shine cantrip, and if they are lit up from Shine, then all of your strikes will do 1d4 extra radiant damage. So that's pretty crazy. If you can get all 1d4 on every hit you do, that's going to add up real quick. Blinding Flash, starting at 11th level, as a bonus action, you can spend 2 key points to generate a Blinding Burst. All creatures within 3 cells of you must roll a Con saving throw or take 3d6 radiant damage and become blinded. Super great ability. I really like this this one here, this Way of the Light. This might actually be my favorite. I've always loved Way of the Open Hand, but the best ability in Way of the Open Hand doesn't come until 17th level. And so, you know, I might actually say Way of Light is much better on here. All right, so let's look at the Lost Valley DLC one. So you get Improved Flurry of Blows. Starting at 3rd level, whenever you use Flurry of Blows, you gain advantage on your next attack, and you gain the benefit of dash action until the end of your turn. So this allows you to gain advantage and then also move further across the field. So if you basically, this gives you more versatility to run around and punch more people in the face. All right, level 6, when a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to make an immediate attack against them. So this is pretty nice. This basically gives you a free attack of opportunity without them moving out of your range. And then at level 2, starting at level 11, when you use Flurry of Blows, you get an extra one. So being able to do your reaction without them moving is pretty fantastic, especially with your Stunning Strike ability. So if I were to rate these, I would probably say Way of Light is going to be the best. Way of Freedom probably number 2. Way of Open Hand probably number 3. And Way of Survival... Way of Survival might be number 3 and Way of Open Hand might be number 4. So let's go with Way of Light. This looks really cool. All right, so now we're going to start leveling up our character, and we can kind of see what we get as we move up the ranks. So at level 4, you're going to get your bonus feat or your ability score, and you're going to get Slow Fall, which is pointless. I mean, taking reduced damage from falling in this game, you don't fall very often, and when you do, the game's over, so stupid. Bonus feat. All right, so here's where a lot of the new feats they put in are very good for the monk. Armor Master is not going to be good because you're not going to wear any armor. Badlands Marauder is not going to be good. Where's the one I'm looking for? Cloak and Dagger. When you hit an enemy with a light weapon, you gain +2 AC to the start of your turn. So you get a +2 AC if you're only wielding a short sword or a light weapon in your hand until the start of your next turn. This is going to be great if you're going to be a melee monk up front, like the tank. So I like this one. I think this is going to be good. Also, we have another one. Where's the other one? Nope. Eager for Battle. Nope. No. You gain 2 cells of movement and 1 dex, so this just makes you be able to cover the ground even further. Maybe. No. Nope. 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 So trip attack might be, let's see here. When you hit an enemy with a melee weapon, ready attack. No. So really, the choices I think you're going to pick from are Cloak and Dagger and then one of these touches, right? We already get additional damage from Radiant. So now we get to pick which other hand touch we want to build on every turn. So we can choose either Burning, Electric, Icy, Toxic, or Melting. So when it comes to resistances, I'm going to assume that things are least resistant to, what, cold damage? Acid damage? You know what? Let's just be thematic. We got light burning. Let's do fire. So we're going to do burning. Okay. So this is the feat I'd pick. It's either this one or Cloak and Dagger. I think will both be good for this. So now let's level up to level 5. Whoopsies. Wrong button. So now level 5, we're going to get our extra attack. So we now can attack twice with our attack action. And now we get the ever amazing Stunning Strike. And apparently we get some spell casting. Let's see here. So Stunning Strike allows you to burn a key point and someone has to save on a Constitution saving throw, and if they fail, they're stunned, which means you get advantage on all your attacks and they can't do anything. So Stunning Strike is what makes a monk so strong, because they can do it on every single attack, but they cost key. So you get 5 key points at level 5. So you have 5 chances to stun something, and then you're all out of key points. So just keep that in mind. They do come back on a short rest, though. So at level 6, we're going to get our unarmed strikes count as magical. So now we don't need to worry about things that are resistant to magic. And now when we do this additional 1d4 radiant damage. So we're going to do 1d4 radiant damage on every hit we do if they have shine or luminous key on them. And we're still doing some extra damage every start of our turn because of the fire. So super cool. All right. So then we get to level 7. And now we gain evasion. So any fireballs cast my way, I can easily reduce the damage in half or take no damage. And now we're immune to Charmed and Frightened. Okay, level 8. This is going to be another ability score or bonus feat. So because we can only pick up one of these touches, now I'm going to pick up our, where is it? Cloak and Dagger to give us some extra AC. Because now things are going to probably have a higher attack. So because they're going to have a higher modifier to their attack, I want more AC so they hit me less. Okay, we're getting to level 9. So now we have a DC 14 on all of our saves, and we get +6 to our spell attacks. And now we are no longer half damage or half movement from climbing. So we're just a little bit easier to get around the field and punch people in the face. All right, let's get to level 10. And now we are getting Purity of Body. So now we master the Flow of Ki. So we're immune to disease and poison. And then at level 11. So just remember, we're now up to 11 key points. We get Blinding Flash. So as a bonus action, you can now spend 2 key points to generate a Blinding Burst. All creatures within 3 cells do our radiant damage. So since we have 11 key points, I mean, technically we could do this 5 times if we don't do anything else. But super cool ability. And then we are going to get to our final level, which is level 12, which is going to be our 3rd and final bonus feat or our 3rd and final ASI. And at this point, the game's probably already over. So if you haven't done so already, it's probably already done. But just for fun, I don't care. I don't really know of a 3rd item that would be good for a monk, to be quite honest. Maybe Rush to Battle, just to be able to cover the battle more. Maybe Trip Attack. Yeah, so I don't really think there's one here, so maybe use your ability score if you haven't done it already. I picked Arcane Appraiser just because. So, as you can see, the Monk, their main reason that a lot of people don't like them in 5th edition is the key points are very lackluster in the beginning, and you pretty much max out your abilities once you hit to level 6. So pretty much after level 6, you don't get a lot of great stuff. You get some ASIs, and you get like one thing at a level 11. But for the most part, you at level 6 reach your max capacity, and from that point on, level ups are not fun. And in a game like this, you want to level up and gain new stuff, and that's what's kind of boring about the monk. But when it comes to sheer damage, being able to do 2 action attacks, 2 bonus action flurries of blows, and then using your key points to stun or do extra damage, there's just a really great class to be running around the battlefield kicking people in the face. And since you're playing a video game and you can short rest anytime, anywhere, and they can get their key points back on a short rest, they're kind of a great class to have in Solasta Crown of the Magister. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video about the monk. I hope this was helpful. Please go ahead and leave your comments below if there's anything I missed or anything you wanted to see. And we will catch you in the next Solasta Crown of the Magister video. This is Van from the VaniverseGaming channel. Thank you for watching. Cheers and peace out.